Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for your Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. The week is flying by. The summer's flying by. We're at that point in the year where it's just like you're starting to get into the dog days if you're out mowing and things. If you're landscaping, doing that type of stuff, then it's hot. The jobs are getting harder. The days are getting longer. Well, actually, the days are getting shorter. It's already crazy. We've reached the longest day of the year already. Now the days are actually getting shorter, the daylight and stuff. So anyway, for those of you out west that don't have to follow daylight savings time, I'm jealous. That's something that I wish we would get rid of. It's a communist thing, in my opinion. But, Ryan, what's your take on that, dude?
We're just going to get into it, let's go for it, man. It's nothing but all these crazy Marxist, fascist guys with their daylight savings that are ending the world, Jeremiah. It's unbelievable,
Literally, it's crazy. There's no other way to bring him in.
Whatever.
How you doing this morning, buddy?
Good, man, good. Speaking of daylight savings in different time zones, I'm all discombobulated. We landed in Big Sky, Montana. We got together in the trades this weekend. So I don't really even know what time I'm in, or it is right now.
Yeah.
It's I'm like 2 hours behind schedule, quote unquote, from Eastern time, because we're in. Is this Mountain time or Central time? How does that work?
Y'all are in Mountain because I'm in Central, and it's an hour behind us. So.
Okay. So we're in Mountain time. So dude, I'm waking up at 6 and 5 a.m. Then it's like 8 o'clock in the morning back at home, but it's pitch black out here still, obviously.
Yeah,
and
if you just went on vacation out there for like a week or 2 weeks, you could be so productive in the mornings because you would get like an extra 2 hours of being awake time because like you wake up at 5 o'clock there.
Yeah, well, it's weird. My CPA, when we book quarterly calls and quarterly reviews, he always books them at like 8 a.m. My time, and I'm like, kind of early, to do a tax talk. And but I'm thinking to myself, dude, you're in California, so he gets up.
5, yeah.
So he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's in bed, at 7 p.m. because he does so much business on the East Coast. And I guess that's like a thing, like for guys that are in tech, is the stock market and all that mess and trading. Like you can't wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in California when the market's been open for 3 hours in New York. So. Literally, and it's like 5 a.m., dude. You're like, we'll jump on a Zoom, and he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He's like, let's roll. And I'm like, for real? And he's like, I have so many clients on the East Coast. He goes, yeah, we this is what I do. And I'm like, who would have thought? So I don't know. It's wild, man. I'll tell you that. But the sun and the sky and the air around here is entirely different, bro. I'll tell you what. I got to paint a quick picture because I'm sitting on a big rock out here, out in this big, town center area. You guys are going to be here in a couple of days. You'll see it. But, man, this is like the most beautiful view you could ever imagine. Like, I got these Rocky Mountain, I don't even know what they are, mountain ranges to the side of me. Bro, like, they're all backlit, so you get like this silhouette kind of deal. Looks absolutely beautiful. These 50, 80, foot tall pine trees. Like, it's basically like Yellowstone type stuff, bro. It's absolutely wild. Got all these, like, cabins peppered on the side of the mountain, and they got these ski lifts and this huge mountain behind us. I wonder if that's a quote unquote actually Big Sky or whatever they call that. But the mountain's, I think, 11,000 elevation. And dude, it's absolutely like the most beautiful place I've ever seen. I mean, it's awesome. So if you guys aren't coming here this year for Together in the Trades, hey, next year or whatever, maybe you guys got a honeymoon or a anniversary trip, try to make it out this way because it's a gem. I've never been out this far west. I think we went to Park City, Utah, but this is Montana, bro. Have you ever been out this way?
No, I've never. Well, I've been further west than that, but not up there. We went to California, and we've been to Hawaii, but not Montana. So.
Oh wow, nice. So it's good to see how the other side lives.
Yeah, it's like we're like the 3% lifestyle. We haven't made it to the 1% yet, but.
Yeah. My brother always says, "Hey, if you're not 1%, you're 99% with the rest of us losers." I'm like, Wow, thanks, bro. So.
you make it to the 1% when you have to rent like the super long Tahoe, like the 7-seater Tahoe, because
this is because I'm bringing the circus with me, dude. That has nothing to do with lifestyle. It's just because I have kids and luggage, and you guys have one kid. I mean, okay, how much stuff do you guys bring when you guys go out of town for Jack?
Oh, it's insane.
Right? Like,
it's insane. It's ridiculous.
I had no clue. Like nobody tells you. Like you're packing suitcases for your 9-month-old kid.
Like the biggest suitcase you have.
Yeah, it's for real. Literally, Liz packed 2 medium-sized suitcases, and I'm like, that's not going to work. And we still have to pack diapers, slings, all this mess, dude. Whatever. And
we gave up on diapers. We said we're buying them there. There's no way I'm packing those.
That's actually really smart. You get Instacart, deliver them,
Yeah.
but like the littlest little baby gets the biggest suitcase, and you have to rent a friggin' full size SUV just to tow all the luggage. It's a lot of fun. But I told my wife, I'm like, what happens if you have like 3 or 4 kids? Like you need a follow vehicle to like take your luggage, So.
And just don't fly Spirit with that luggage. You'll pay $3,000 in bags.
I heard. So I've heard, man. That's that's how they get you at the gate. They're
that's how the true 1% lives.
They're like $75 to bring your wife. I'm like, she's already bought a ticket. But it's $75 more, sir. It's like, and if you want to sit together, that's $25 more. If you want the seatbelt option, it's $15 more. It's like what the hell,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was laughing, you guys talking about that episode. I'm like, you only do Spirit once.
I would say you have to do it once. You have to do it once just for the experience, or maybe we did that for you guys. Like, don't make the mistake. I don't know. Maybe we were the experiment.
All you have to do is phone a friend and ask, hey, is this a good idea? And everybody.
Yeah,
but I digress.
Yep, that's right. Well, dude, I hope everybody's doing well. Good to catch up. I can't wait to see everybody hang out for a couple days here in Big Sky. But what we want to talk about today is some big stuff's coming up right around the corner. We're already, like I said, dog days of summer are here. If you're mowing, you're out growing, and you're just going hard in the paint. And it's like, man, already in the middle of July, August will be before you know it. Then September, then October, and then you're like days away from Equip. And then you're like, well, dang, then the Entrepreneur Academy. Then the events just start rolling in. And so what we wanted to get into is just talk about what does the fall look like for you guys, man? And then we'll kind of get into the event and what's happening and things. We got some big announcements coming for you later here in the show. But what does the fall look like? What does the rest of the year look like kind of heading into Equip for you guys? Brian's on maintenance, the company. How's the company doing? I know you've kind of removed yourself a little bit from the field aspect, which is awesome. It's cool to see that growth. And it's cool to know that there's other people going through the same things because, like, that's kind of the state that I'm in. So we relate on a lot of those things. But, what does the rest of the year look like, dude?
Yeah, man. Well, as always, it's good to catch up. We only get to do a couple of shows a year, and usually it's when we're in person.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about seeing you and Savannah and little baby Jack. How old, by the way, is Jack now? He's got to be a year almost? Or?
He's 10 months, yeah. Yeah, so
10 months. That's awesome. So it's always good catching up with everybody in person. But no, the business is good, man. We got a great team this year. I really, really grateful for Rob, Mark, Ryan. We got 3 full-time guys there, and outside of that, there's about 8 or 9 people we employ in general. It's turning into its own little machine. I told Liz the other day, I'm like, hey, like if we don't make enough money to cover at least just $25,000 a month in payroll, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And I go, yeah. I said things are getting kind of big. And big is relative. If you guys know Liz and I, where we came from, I came from a double wide trailer, and Liz came from Dearborn, Michigan. We're probably, if you opened up your yearbook, remember those, Jeremiah, like a couple years ago? Like if you opened that up, I was probably the photo in there for like least likely to be successful because I was just a spaz. I just couldn't sit still. I always twitched. I was always just cheating on homework and tests. And I just, today they call it collaboration and, a mastermind, but back then it was called cheating. Who would have thought?
And using ChatGPT to write your papers.
Oh, man. I couldn't only imagine the way the kids do stuff these days. It's I would have got a 4.0 because I was that resourceful to be that industrious, to like be that ambitiously lazy to not have to do the work. So I probably would have been a wizard.
If you would have applied the effort that you do to get around it just to actually do the work, you'd been in good shape.
Yeah, there's some merit to that too, But it's funny though. One thing I always say when I talk about school is that, man, I was there 4 years straight, and even in middle school, but 4 years straight, I got perfect attendance in high school. And long story short, nobody there ever thought about being successful.
Yeah.
So for anybody that wants to champion school or, college is a different conversation, but I was there every single day, and not once was success ever talked about, or self-employment or entrepreneurship, even for that matter. And I know you're really passionate about that topic. But you know what? School's fine. Graduate. I would say you got to get your diploma, and after that, you can be off to the races. And if you want to go to college, hey, awesome. If not, hey, even just as awesome. But no. So to go back full circle, man, the season's going good. We've had our droughts. We've had our crazy rainfalls. We've had a lot of growth in the company. We've had, of course, some psycho crazy customers, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys have. I was on the phone with a guy literally yesterday while I'm here at Big Sky and doing a coaching call, and I usually do them on Thursdays, but Monday was his only available day, so we're catching up for an hour, and he's like, "Hey, I got this landscape job. It's going south. The lady has crazy expectations." He's like, "I'm doing all the scope of work that I'm supposed to be doing, but," he goes, "Man, it's just going south. It's going to guns." And he's like, "How do I figure this out and solve it amicably?" And he's like, "Man, do you ever have like crazy customer stories or crazy customers?" I go, "All the freaking time, all the freaking time." And he's like, "Okay, so I'm not the only one that deals with PETA customers or crazy expectations." I go, "Dude, I just lost an account the other day, which I would have liked to have kept. We nicked this lady's fence. It was a commercial account, and we nicked the white vinyl fence, and trying to get that fixed takes a little bit of time, and we don't guarantee any damages on fences, especially white vinyl fences." And she was like adamant, "You got to fix this. You got to fix this." And I'm like, "Lady, we will." I'm like, "You got to give me a couple of weeks though. Like post COVID, nothing happens in a week, But she wasn't patient. She canceled us, and she's like, "I can't believe you guys didn't, make an insurance claim and rebuild my whole fence." And I'm like, "Lady, I'm not paying a $500 plus deductible for your, $12 worth of damage.
For your $20 piece of vinyl."
Yeah, I'm like, we'll get some slats fixed, and so she canceled us, and things happen, and we have good days, we have bad days.
And guess what? Though life moves on. The business keeps going.
Life moves on. It's all good. Things happen. So, dude, like anybody listening, like I deal with the same minutia that you guys deal with every single day. I have one of my guys, Ryan. He keeps pushing me to get our merch, store set up, and like we have that like One Sword, Teespring, whatever, integrated with the YouTube channel. But he's like, "Dude, you said so many motivational clips and so many like funny things." And one of mine is always employees, weather, or equipment. Pick two. And that's kind of like the champion statement I have in my company for the last couple of years. It's like, "Oh, you have a perfect, beautiful day, and all the equipment's ready to go," and then one of your guys calls off, or you have great employees and the weather's nice, but then the equipment breaks down. You get some flat tires or something. Thankfully, this year, like we've kind of been threading the needle and kind of hitting it. 9 out of 10. The team is doing great, so couldn't be more grateful for those guys. But we're right there with you guys, man. It's been hot, it's been rainy, but we're at that fulcrum, I think, for summer, like you were just talking about. We're kind of actually on that downhill slope going to fall and winter, and man, you guys think the spring rush is busy. I feel like the fall rush is sometimes even busier because, and I don't know how it is totally with you guys down south, but Jeremiah, we deal with, your final mows and the grass starts growing again like crazy in September and tapers in October, but then you got Equip Expo, and then you're getting ready for leaves. And by the time you finally get your stride with leaves, you're already switching to snow. And then we got our conference in November that we're throwing on. And it's just like, it all comes at once. I really do feel like fall is busier than the spring and the summer rush even sometimes. And just to zoom out really quick, we're in the thick of doing a summer tour, doing a bunch of YouTube videos, interviewing some teenagers across the country, which is super awesome. And then outside of that, we'll do a fall tour, and we're going to go visit some more shops this winter, talking about snow removal equipment. So, bro, it's like it never ends. It's crazy. And I'm sitting on a rock here looking at the skyline of Big Sky, Montana, and I'm like, man, it's pretty peaceful over here. It's kind of quiet. You're kind of unplugged, like you could get used to this, So versus all the busyness of the day-to-day grind back at home,
Yeah, no, dude, it never stops. It's I mean, this has been you get into. So let's talk about this a little bit, and then we'll kind of wrap up here. With short and sweet show today. Talk about Launchpreneur Academy and what we got going on there. But I want to hear your take on what business has looked like for you this year. It's looked different, and it's looked different than it really probably ever has for you. You are not in the field every day. You've brought on a good team. Now you're obviously you're one mess up away from being back in the field. We're kind of still at that level. A lot of people are still at that level, which is I think is you're very relatable there, and so I think you can give some insight there. But I mean, what are one or two things that you say that you've done this season that have worked for y'all that has empowered your team to go out and do things more on their own? I think there's just so many guys that are trying to break through that little point that they're at. It's a big point, actually, of we're here. I'm so close. I have 2 guys working for me. I really want to go take a vacation and not be there, but I just can't. I don't think the guys can do it on their own. But in turn they can. Like you just have to learn to delegate and train and kind of empower them. So what are some things you've done, 1 or 2 quick tips that you've done that have worked for y'all this year that have just kind of kept things rolling when you're not there? I mean, guys are out mowing today, I'm sure, for you while you're in Montana, which is like just proof of like you've built a good team around you. So what are some tips that you could give to somebody out there in that time and stage of business?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good question, and I think it's the number one question I probably get. I'm sure you get too. Is like, hey, how do I get out of the field or manage it all or do it all? And I'm a big. If anybody can remember any one thing from this podcast, one of my life tenets is the word deconstruct. You got to deconstruct things. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, distill, decipher, discern. You have to deconstruct some things in your life. So for the guy that's got they got a one mowing crew and it's 2 guys plus the owner, and you're like, I just can't get away from the field. I cannot go on a 4-day vacation with my spouse. Well, let's deconstruct that, because it's not that you can't go on vacation, right? Because there's a 6-step process or a 5-step process or a 3-step process to maybe getting out of town. Well, like 1, we got to have a route and a route sheet. Number 2, we got to have the equipment. Number 3, we got to have the labor. And number 4, you got to have somebody with the mental capacity to be able to get the job done no matter what. Okay, well, let's go back through that. Like, and I'm making this up as we go, but it's very pragmatic. It's just like, okay, do we got equipment? Yes. Do we got the route sheets? No. Do I've got good people? Yes. Do I got competent people that can lead? Yeah, my right-hand guy, Marco, he's awesome. He's been wanting to do this thing. He always tells me to get out of here. Okay, cool. Okay, so what's the bottleneck in these 4 different, topics? Well, we don't have a route sheet because the route sheet's in your head because you do all your billing on your CRM. You're like, yeah, dude, I know the route. We do Mrs. Herfenerbler, right, Caleb? we do Mrs. Johnson, we do Betty Boop, and then we do, that commercial site. Okay, cool. Like, you know the route, but do your guys know the route?
Mm.
Okay, no. So we got to get a route out of our brain, onto our CRM, out of the CRM, onto a route sheet, and then you can leave that with the guys. Like, you might be 75% there in this example, right? We had that four steps, but we're 75% of the way there. Okay, so you're not like at 0, right? And a lot of guys are like, there's just no way. And I'm like, you're actually probably, and Dan Martell says this, and this is one thing I love about Dan, and I know you've become a big Dan fanboy like myself.
Yeah.
Is you're probably 1 or 2 key hires or 1 or 2 key systems away from totally radically changing your life, your lifestyle, your business, your revenue, your time freedom. And for me, it was, I had no problem with the guys going out. I had no problem with the equipment. I had no problem with the route. I had been doing a lot of those things that we were just talking about. But what we needed more manpower. We needed more manpower. Like, if I'm in the field, then I need to hire my 40 hours out.
Yep.
And so we always had Rob. We had Mark. Mark came from a job they actually went back to because they offered him like a sweetheart deal. And I was like, Mark, I said, man, I love you, brother. Like, I can't make that happen. You got to go back to there. I said, now it's an abusive relationship. I will promise you in 6 months, you're not going to want to be there. When that happens, call me and we'll bring it back on. And to the dot, Jeremiah, he calls me. He's like, dude, it ain't working. And we've always texted, and he's always helped me, mulch jobs or something, nights or weekends. I joked the first time I hired him was to come on board. The second time I hired him was for him to not leave.
Yeah.
And it is a big difference, right? Paying somebody $15, $18 to just do some labor versus paying somebody $18, $25 an hour or whatever to not leave and to be a right-hand guy and somebody that you can stand on and be a tenant in your company. That's the difference. And then I had realized, okay, our company is growing. We're in the growth phase. We're not just like status quo and maintaining. Not only did I have to replace myself with one guy, I need to get some more labor for those two, twofold. One, because we're growing. Two, because employees are only going to do 80% of what the owner's going to do anyway.
Yeah.
So when I hired Mark out to do my role, I wasn't going to get a one-to-one. No disrespect to Mark, but he doesn't have the same incentive structure. So I can't be naive as an owner to think, man, I hired a guy. How come he's not producing like the owner was? And I think a lot of people have heard that, but this is the practical walk it out. And then number three, I said, okay, well, if he's only going to do 80%, we're already at a deficit. I need to hire a third guy. And if we're also growing, that third guy is going to get maxed out as well. And that's going to be the most efficient business that we can run. So we have three full-time guys in the field running about 120 labor hours of production. It's a lot of work. I mean, people, say we're a YouTuber and all this other, or an influencer, all this nonsense. I'm like, hey, my business grew 6 digits last year and 6 digits this year. Like, before anybody wants to start throwing some muck, I would just ask, like, is your company doing the same kind of growth?
Yep.
Before you start throwing shade. And again, I say that humbly and, as having as much fun as possible, but we got a great team of guys. They're empowered. They know how to make decisions. I spent a lot of time thought process wise on Rob. People are like, I want a Rob. I want a foreman. I want a right-hand guy. I'm like, I've sowed 5 years of time and thought process into Rob. He's not a 98.6. A lot of guys are looking for a leader, but they keep hiring a warm body, and it's not the same. And you might find a good guy that is a leader, and you need to pay him top dollar, right? So he's going to start off at $25 an hour. He's a great foreman type quality dude. But if you're hiring an 18-year-old and go, why can't he take out the mow rig? It's because he's 18. He's never had that kind of responsibility in his life, and it might take 2, 3, 4 years to train and educate and invest into him to get him into that position. And that's something that a lot of people, we're going to be talking about that actually at Together in the Trades, is like, there's not enough equity in those relationships or that thought process or in that company to be able to pull out from it. And so I couldn't have pulled out of my company 2 years ago or even last year. I was kind of in, kind of out. But this year, we put systems in place the last 12 months to be able to give us the opportunity this year to do what we're doing. But I knew last year that this year was going to be crazy because we're going to build a barn, we're going to build a house, and have a baby, and all the other mess that we have going on. I said, there's no way. I said, I 100% need to be out of the field and build levels and layers to make sure that company is protected and that I don't need to be in there day to day. And in fact, last thing I'll say, I have a fourth guy that we already have hired who's working part-time to keep up with the growth that we've had, because we're still adding clients, and just to ensure that no matter if it's 99 degrees or we got 3 days of rain, the work gets done and it's still in a profitable manner. So we're throwing a gob of help and labor at it because the company's growing. So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
No, that's good. That's good, dude. I mean,
8-minute monologue, later. So
yeah, no, that's good. I mean, that is 100%.
That's the whole ball of wax right there, man.
That's the whole ball of wax for free. But it's one of those things that I can relate to, because like we're in the exact same place in business as far as that goes, of like getting out of the field, putting guys in place, building systems, building processes. The thing you said about being you're one key hire away from literally changing your whole life could not be any more true. Like, but it's not that easy in the fact that you're one hire away, but that one hire comes with a lot of hours put into systems and processes and training. And I feel like that is where guys bottleneck the most, because I'm speaking from experience here. That's where I've bottlenecked the most. I haven't implemented proper systems and processes and built routes for guys and trained them on how to do things and where to go, how to do maintenance on mowers, what route to follow. Like you get, when you start putting guys in your place, there's multiple different things we could go down the road of, but there's the road of like, so like you said, they're only going to do 80% of the work. So you're going to lose a little bit of production when you leave the field, but you're going to have to make that up with adding new clients. You're going to have to grow a little bit because you have to grow your top line to make up for the added labor costs you're bringing on. You can't just replace yourself and then stay at the same place, because you're going to double your labor in a sense. But you have to bring on more revenue, because if not, your profits just start going down. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that side of things, but also it's like you have to teach guys how to, like, you can't just do it for them. That's been the biggest thing. And I don't know, I feel like you may be this type of person, and I think you've probably adapted and learned, but I'm the type of person, most business owners that are entrepreneurs that have started their own businesses. You just do it. You just get out, you do it, and you get done and move on with life. Like, we don't have time to sit around and wait on somebody else to do it. That will hold you in the same spot in business. That'll hold you there bigger than anything else, I believe. If you cannot learn to delegate and train someone else to take your position and do it better than you do it, you'll never excel in business, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Wittstock says, Greg Wittstock runs a $50 million pond installation business and manufacturing company over in West Chicago. A lot of you guys know Greg Wittstock. Greg says it all the time, and one of the best nuggets that he drops at our live event last year, Jeremiah, or 2 years ago? I think it was maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and he said, a lot of people struggle with this, and this was his suggestion. Now, this is coming from a guy who's got 150 full-time employees, who's hired thousands of people through his 35 years of being in business, who's done $50 million per year for a couple of years, and totally has probably done $500 million plus in revenue. So maybe he's got some great things to say. Let's hear what he has to say. He said, when you're trying to hire people and scale your team, the customer, for example, will have an expectation of a level 4. The owner's got a level expectation of a level 10. Now, when you hire somebody, they might only do a level 6. And most people spend a lot of their time as owners trying to get the guy to go from a 6 to a 9, which is still something that you need to do and cultivate and develop. But the reality is, like, if the customer has an expectation of 4, then your employee obviously met or exceeded expectations. And a lot of the time, most guys aren't business owners. They're self-employed. And Tom Wheelwright, the CPA of Robert Kiyosaki, he says some of the most dangerous words in the English language are "do it yourself."
Yeah.
And nobody does it as good as I do. Right. But if you want to be self-employed, you better be the best dentist or best neurosurgeon. But if you're being the best business owner, you want to make sure that you're empowering people to blossom and flourish in your organization. And you need to be the best at a couple other different key skill sets that are going to help to grow the organization. So it's a lot of guys go from being an employee or self-employed and like, well, I'm self-employed. I just can't get people to do things like myself, or they're not as good as me. And as Greg Wittstock said, he goes, stop trying to get people to be like you. Let them grow in your organization. They might mow it similar to how you do, but entirely different. They might have a different approach or different thought process or a way to tackle the day. Instead of berating them, empower them. As long as you get to the same finished desired goal or project or completion or whatever you want to call it, like, it's all a win. It's all a dub.
Yep.
But a lot of guys, and it just is what it is. We have a controlling nature. I was going to say control freak, and it's not a mean thing. It's just you got to learn to let go.
Most entrepreneur business owners, self-employed business owners that we're talking here, that you are a control freak, though. That's the thing. Like, that's why you're still at this point in business.
Yeah, and it's not bad. I like things to be particular and tidy and efficient. I mean, of course, but again, your employees don't have the same incentive structure. Even if they have a bonus, they don't take home the profit at the end of the day. Their name's not on the side of the truck.
Yeah.
So, it's just a learning lesson. For me personally, Jeremy, I'll take it all the way back. When I worked at Little Caesars, it was a team environment every single night. We were slinging pizzas and all this mess, but no way is one guy going to wash dishes, make dough, prep and build the actual pizzas. Some guy go let him put them through the oven and then cut them up, put them in a box, butter the breadsticks, and run cashier, and run the phones. Like it's 7, 8, 9 people. It's a tapestry, and so when you have this person come on in and like, well, nobody does it like me. Well, you can't run 8 stations of a Little Caesars pizza business. How are you going to run 5, 6, 8 different roles of your company? And again, if you want to do it all, you're going to end up staying small because you only have so much bandwidth and capacity in a day. And that's why a lot of guys revert back to just, hey, getting rid of all the nonsense, getting rid of all the overhead, getting rid of all the guys. And as Dan Martell says, they'll sell or they'll sabotage, and they'll retract back to that manageable sized business. And by the way, that's totally freaking cool too.
With it. Yep.
There's Corey Ballard says all the time. He's like, man, he goes, can you imagine just being on the mower all day and you got 18 lawns to mow and you're listening to your podcasts all day. Like,
I kind of envy it sometimes.
Dude, totally. He takes a sigh. He goes, man, that would be something. And then snaps back to reality, and he's got this $30 million company with 200 employees running around. He's like, all right, well, I got to keep the machine moving. Obviously it's not just him, but there's a lot of moving parts. But again, and there's no shade, there's no condemnation, there's no judgment on wherever you're at. Like Josh Latimer in 2019 came to our conference and he said, level 1 business owner, you're doing it all, you're self-employed. Level 2, you got maybe 1 or 2 crews and you're kind of managing both. And for most guys, it's a mow crew and a landscape crew. Level 3, you're maybe in the sales position, empowering 1, 2, 3 crews. Level 4, you can have whatever number of crews, but basically you're in the office, you're the office manager and you're having meetings, but you got a team of, it could be 20 guys, it could be 200 guys, it just depends. And then level 5 business owners, true entrepreneurial spirit, where you can leave that company, as Robert Kiyosaki says, come back a year later and it's still running and has grown without you. And very, it's an inverted triangle, or it's a triangle, I should say. There's 75% of guys in our industry are probably self-employed small business owners. And that's fine, dude. I was there for 14 years.
Yep.
But as I wanted to make different progressions in my life, I had to be realistic and say, I can't do everything in my own company. And it was never a control thing. It was just what do we need to accomplish this year kind of thing. And I said, out of necessity, I had to grow. I said, or I revert back. But if I revert back, I don't have the same income. And not all about the money, but at the same point, like, more is better than less, in my opinion. So we had to grow. We had to push through.
Yeah. No, dude, that's good. And I would say action step to wrap up on this of like everything we just talked about. If you're out mowing lawns today and you're like, man, how can we do this? How can I start this process? I would say your first action step, at least for me, which has worked, is to get out of the self-employed mindset that I can do it better than anyone. They can't do it as good as me. Whenever you bring on your next new customer, do not show up to that lawn. Let your crew go cut it on their own. And what that's going to create is it's going to create customer expectations. And you talked about the guy with the coaching call having customer expectations. And we just did a show on that last week talking about the importance of creating a customer expectation and realizing what the customer wants. Because if they have an expectation that you don't know they have, your business will shut down over time. Your business, they will start leaving reviews. You will not be able to, you won't be doing the quality work that they expect. Like, you'll end up running yourself into a hole. But the next time you get a new customer, let your crew go mow the yard by themselves, because now, instead of the customer seeing you there on that property and doing it as good as you usually do it, they're going to see your crew do it, and they're going to think, oh, they did a pretty good job. And then they're going to get that quality of product every time after that. And they're not going to know any different. And that is, like, to me, that is the first step in a lawn mowing business of, like, how to get yourself out of the field, in my opinion. That is the easiest, like, simple. When somebody signs up, don't show up to their lawn, let your crew go cut it. And if it sounds like
you're saying you're saying it sounds like it's a progression, obviously.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's definitely a progression. Like, it is just one step at a time. And I mean, it's I think you can relate to that. Like, you've been on the mow rig for the last, like you said, 14 years. But Rob, over time, has learned and grown, and now he can do stuff on his own and do stuff with him. And even if you have 18, 19, 20-year-olds, like, they can still do it. You just have to put the proper training in place. Like, there's a 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids running my rig right now, and I trust them because I've trained them. And do they have faults? Are they a little bit immature at times? Yes. And do things get missed? Yes. But, like, we're not getting customer callbacks very often. If we do, we go fix them and we move on with life. Like, things are going to happen, but I have time. Like, we're sitting here recording this podcast, and this is a perfect example, at 9:30 on a Tuesday. Like, a year ago, there's no way that would happen for either of us. And the freedom that you get from that, from the small little progressions in life, like, I don't know. When you said once you do it, you won't go back. And it's not just monetary, it's time. Time is, like, the most valuable thing in life to me. I don't know how it is for you, but for me, it's like, I just want my time. And that's something we're working towards and are getting closer to achieving that every day. So,
well, here, last thought I got on this one is, you got to have, most people have a catalyst in their life. You have to have a catalyst for growth. So a catalyst is like, let's say it's the wick to the stick of dynamite. The catalyst, or you have a nuclear bomb. It's the, plutonium exploding inside that creates that chain reaction, which allows the rest of the bomb to explode, which creates that detonation or whatever it is.
Yeah.
A lot of guys out there, like, you know, we can pump you up all day and have the rah-rah and the motivation. And that's fine. There's a place for that, and there's a need for that. Because I think we all need to be encouraged and pumped up. But for me, I'm just a pragmatic guy. I look at reality and I say, if something physically or mentally or whatever, just something bothers me, that's a catalyst for me to need to change something. I think a lot of guys listening in, and just guys in general, like to fix things. I don't know how or why. I think that's just how a lot of us are wired, especially when you're self-employed. Somebody's got a problem and we're there to listen, but we're like, man, I got 3 solutions for you. And it's like, we're always trying to fix things. Well, one thing that really attracted me to Dan Martell was I saw an Instagram reel and he said, if I owned a restaurant and the head chef, you know, called off or quit, he goes, I'm not rushing in there to go chef, to make stuff, to make food. He goes, I'm not a chef. I don't know how to chef. He goes, what I would do is I would immediately call around, see if anybody's a chef that could cover my restaurant for the day, and start hiring and doing interviews for hiring a head chef. When you guys have whether it's a crew member who's weed whipping, all the way to a foreman, all the way to an executive on your team, if you have a larger company, maybe one day, if somebody quits, why are we always in our industry? And this was just a bag of bricks up the side of my head, Jeremiah, just practically speaking, even for Mr. Motivation. I said, why am I running back into my crew every time there's an emergency?
Yep.
Like, that's not my job. I'm a business owner. So that hit me on the upside of the head like a bag of bricks. And I look at my company, and yes, where sometimes it is 4 steps forward and 5 steps back, or 3 steps forward and 4 steps back. And it's growth and comes back, or growth and comes back. And that's something that I practically dealt with this spring. Was I had this exact dream life, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, set up. And then my foreman, unfortunately, had a small injury riding his motorcycle and thrashed his knee. And he was out for a couple of weeks and could be out for 6 months. And all this stuff that we're sharing with you guys, it's not to pump you up or motivate you. It's, here's what I'm doing. Maybe there's some lessons you guys can take away. And I had just a week before the week of my second baby was due, my wife was going to need me postpartum. Anybody who's ever had a baby, I will just encourage you to figure out whatever you can do to be there for your wife those first couple of weeks as much as physically possible, at least the first 3 or 4 weeks. It's a lot for the ladies. And not only that, this is our second, so, you know, we still got the first rugrat running around. But as you guys can imagine, Rob got hurt, and what did I instantly do? I was back in the field.
Yep.
Like two days later, my baby was being born, or was just born, whatever it was. It had just fell on. I said, and Liz was distraught. I was distraught. We were literally building this company to not have to deal with those kind of problems. And we went from living the dream to back in the field, which, by the way, it's totally fine. It was no big deal. Like, going back in the field, I love being in the field. It's actually a lot of fun. I picked up a weed whip or a mower, and we just went back at it. But the catalyst for Liz and I was, we will never let this happen to ourselves ever again. And there's a lot more to our story. We're not even scratching the tip of the iceberg of where Liz and I see our company now, because I told Liz, I said, I don't care if I need to have a 200-person company where I have 199 people back up before I ever have to pick up a mower or a trimmer again to go back in the field. And I'm not proclaiming anything or announcing anything that we're trying to do or build into or grow into. But if people think the growth that we're having or the company we built is where we're going to finish with where we're at right now, you're out of your freaking mind. Liz and I we're getting a big dream and a big vision for where we want to take this thing. And again, it's not necessarily going back in the field. It's just, I'm tired of having things jockey my time in my calendar. And that's fine when you're 20, 21, 22. But when you're in your 30s and you're having a family and kids and building a home, like, you have to be mature enough to realize I can't let this company rise and fall just on my own efforts. And so that's what I got,
freedom.
Bro.
Time freedom.
That's it.
That's what it comes down to.
That's it.
So if you want to learn more about time freedom and everything else that comes along with that and owning a business, then you better be in Novi, Michigan on November the 19th, 21. I don't know. I can't remember. What's the dates?
I mean, you can come there that weekend too. Nobody's going to be there, but you can always go hang out and have fun in Novi.
I remember in last year's. So what we got going, dude? Launchpreneur Academy Live is coming up.
Yeah, November 11th, Saturday. that's a hard pivot right there. That's a transition, but it's our lawn care conference that we're doing. It's going to be a barn burner. We got about 300 plus folks that should be coming on in, and that's what we're rolling out the red carpet for. And if you guys have never heard of Entrepreneur Academy Live, basically it's an extension and even a derivative of the YouTube channel, the podcast, the Instagram, the training courses, all that stuff. People crave community. I love getting around so many of my friends in the industry, and there's a couple events that go on per year, but there's nothing like this one. And I don't need to put anybody down to pick ours up. It's not like that. There's a lot of great events out there. They all have different roles out there. Like Equip Expo is a lot of fun. Jeremiah, I know you guys are going down to Equip Expo. It's always a good time. But it's about equipment. It's about making connections with reps and dealers and, your favorite brand, if you're a Skag guy or an Exmark guy or whatever. That's fine. That's cool. But what I've noticed is a void out there is like people actually teaching about how to grow a real company and a real business. And yeah, you can stitch together learning, 20-minute, segments a day on a bunch of great podcasts out there, including the Growing Green podcast. But if you want to like immerse yourself in the culture, if you want to immerse yourself in being a business owner, right? They always say if you want to learn a language, immersion is the best way to do it. Like drop yourself off in Paris with no connections, and in 90 days, you'll be speaking fluent French. If you want to come and immerse yourself in an environment that's going to help you guys win in the green industry, that's our live event that we're hosting in Novi, Michigan. It's all day on Saturday, 8:30 to 5:30. A ticket's $197. You can get it at launchpreneuracademy.com. It's at the Suburban Collection Showplace, which is like the conference center of Michigan. It's super nice. It's 30 minutes up the road from Detroit Metro. Detroit's a big airport, super nice, super clean, super safe. It's actually like 20 minutes outside of the city, so it's not exactly in Detroit. But every airport that you guys are nearby flies into Detroit, Delta, Southwest, has great ticket prices, $200-$300 so you can be there. And catch an Uber to the hotel, and the hotel's on site to the venue, which you can't beat that. And come learn from some of the best in the industry, man. And if I can just give a quick nod and plug to the sponsors, Jeremiah, because without them, we wouldn't be able to offer the ticket price for $200. It'd be $1,000 a ticket. But this year we got Exmark, SureTrack Trailers, Yardbook, and Boss Snowplow going to be sponsors, and we couldn't do it without them. And then Friday night, we have a whole mixer going on, like a game night, party night that's brought to you by Kohler, which we're super grateful for them. And that's going to be at the Hub Stadium. And I don't know if you guys have a venue like this down where you guys are at, Jeremiah. Like, this is kind of new back at home, but they've got a whole indoor like lounge and cafeteria thing, and they've got like 20 lanes of axe throwing, like 15 lanes of football bowling. They call it bowling. And then upstairs is like an ice arena thing where they have like curling, like in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which is dope. I've never seen anything like that. It's like literally the room's like 30 degrees. It's a sheet of ice. It's like an ice arena. But that's free for anybody to come on in on Friday night from 5 to 7. We got 2 private banquet rooms, hot dogs, burgers. There's going to be a ton of food. That's on Friday night. So it's like we're going to entertain you. You're going to have so much fun. It's going to be a blast. Saturday, we got some of the best speakers that we can get. It's going to be just an amazing time. I got the speaker lineup if you want me to go through that, but
yeah,
I'm just telling you guys. Well, and here's the thing. Like, here's my thing. It's an experience. It's like you gotta come check it out. I've really stopped trying to like overhype it or sell it because it's got a great track record. And if you're new, maybe you need some cajoling to get there. I get it. But anybody who's been there like year over year, we've got some people coming back now 4 years in a row, 5 years in a row. People are like hotel rooming together, going to dinner around the town because they know the area a little bit now. Relationships are forged there, man, and friendships are forged there. People that you're gonna do business in life with. It's really, really awesome. So I can't wait to have everybody there. We got about 300 tickets we're gonna make available. You want me to go through the speaker lineup, or where you at on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about community, and that's what this event is all community based. It's growing the community.
Yes,
we talk about that on the show every day on the show. We talk about that, growing the community one relationship at a time, and that's exactly what you do at an event like this. So it is super key and super crucial to grow the community side, but you need to go there and actually learn and benefit. And so some of the speakers that are going to be there are fantastic, and you're going to learn so much from them. So what is the lineup? Who have we got coming in this year?
Well, I'll go really quick just for time's sake. But number one, we got Leroy Maines, and Leroy is the co-host of the Green Grind podcast with Corey Ballard. And I don't know if you know his story, Jeremiah. You need to get him on the show. He's an awesome dude. He's got a company called Brilliant Borders over there in Des Moines, Iowa. $1 million plus company, and he's had everything we just talked about. He's went through the crucible the last decade. He's had a bigger company. He's had a smaller company. He's back to a bigger company. Man, he's talking about life lessons learned about going through all those different gears, all those different sizes of companies. And actually, let me back up and zoom out. This year's conference, the theme, the idea is I wanted to talk about leadership, systems, and growth. Like, not inspiration, not motivation, not rah-rah, although you'll get some of that. But I wanted people to come there empowered, like, hey, how do you hire your first guy? How do you hire your second guy? How do you hire your first crew, your second crew? How do you continue to grow this thing? And let's talk about leadership, which I think is something that is just totally void of in our industry. Like, everything rises and falls in leadership, and nobody's talking about it at length. And that leads me to speaker number 2, Sam Gembel, who runs Atlas Outdoor back home in Michigan, in Flint, Michigan. Guy's chiseled out a $10 million company in Flint, Michigan, which is translation. If he can do it, you can do it. The most depressed area of Michigan, and they're growing an incredible company, 75 young guys that work for him. And he's a huge John Maxwell leadership guru kind of a guy. Are you happen to be subscribed to his newsletter that goes out every week, Jeremiah?
No, I'm not. No.
It's a solid resource. He sends out a newsletter every week on Tuesdays. Great dude, awesome guy. He's like John Maxwell Jr. I tried to get John Maxwell on Jeremiah, but he was $200,000 for an hour.
Yep.
Just a little out of budget.
So he said, "Let's go with Sam."
Let's go with Sam. So, reluctantly we get Sam Gembel, who's got a $10 million company, and that guy's checked in with me about every 3 weeks. Actively checks in with me every 3 weeks since I did a fall tour with him last year. Like, he's about people, man.
Yeah.
He's like, hey man, how you doing? Can I pray for you? Anything you need? Like, how are you and Liz? How's the baby? Like, he's the most genuine dude you could ever meet. Let's keep it going. So we're talking about growth of your company. We're talking about leadership of your company. We want to talk about knowing your numbers. We're not going to stop talking about that ever. So if you're sick of it, not my problem. I think everything rises and falls on profitability. And so we're having Weston Zimmerman come in, who's the co-founder of Synced Up. Weston, I don't know if you followed him lately. He's on tour. Well, so when he on-ramps people with Synced Up, he takes them through this whole onboarding process. Actually, I think you went through that maybe. So he does a deep dive on getting your business started, switching over to his software, of course, but helping people really understand the metrics and the numbers to become profitable in their business. And I said, hey, dude, I don't know what you're telling people, but can you share that presentation with our audience? He goes, dude, I'd be honored to. So he's coming in, not to talk about Synced Up necessarily, but how to run a profitable company. And again, they built this software out of necessity for their company that was doing several millions of dollars. And he knows one or two things about helping people grow. I mean, he's like one of the it guys right now. And I'm so honored to have Weston come on in. It's going to be just a really, really good time. So I'll just keep moving through the gears a little bit quicker, but we also have a panel we're going to do this year. I'm going to call it an up-and-comers panel, where traditionally we get a bunch of the big guys in, right? Like, all these guys have $1 million companies, $10 million companies. And somebody made a suggestion last year, dude, it'd be cool to see some of the guys that have $200,000 companies, $400,000 companies. They're not doing millions of dollars, but they did add a crew last year and grew by $50,000. That's success. And I said, I like that. So what we're going to do is an up-and-comers leader panel, depending on who's coming to the event. I kind of know a little bit of everybody that's coming in. I snoop, and try to learn about everybody's business. But we're going to get 6 or 7 guys that have a lot of great momentum in their company the last 12, 18, 24 months. And we're going to do a little roundtable discussion about what's working. And that's going to be emceed by none other than the man, Corey Ballard, for about 45 minutes. And
that's good.
I think that's going to be, I already know that's going to be one of the best parts of the event, because who doesn't like a good panel? So I'm really, really excited about that. We'll have a lunch break. Lunch is included, all that mess. It's a great Italian, lunch. I've never heard anybody complain about the lunch. We try to feed you guys really well. Then later on in the day, we've got My man Keith Kalfas is coming back, which I'm super excited about that.
Cool,
yeah. Dude, everybody loves Keith Kalfas. Like, if you guys don't know Keith Kalfas, I can't spend all day trying to teach you who Keith Kalfas is. Okay, you just got to come see him speak live. He actually didn't come the last 2 years. Actually, one of the years he had COVID, so glad he didn't come. But I said, Keith, everybody needs some motivation. They need to get pumped up. Come on down if you can. And he said, dude, I'd love to serve the group for an hour. So he's going to be coming in and, delivering a message. And by the way, like, Keith Kalfas in 2019 did a talk called Know Your Worth. And it's still one of the most talked about 35-minute speeches, not from just our conference, but I mean from like all conferences, not lawn care conferences, bro. Like all conferences in the industry. Like that dude is up there, like with the Les Geblins and the Les Browns and all these motivational speaker kind of dudes. Like Keith is that guy. Like I just love giving him a big platform to share into you guys. So he's going to come in. He's going to rock the house. We've got Caleb and Brittany Allman coming in, talking about their last 24 months, holding their company together, their relationship together, building the pole barn, talking about productivity, efficiencies, and the dream and the vision and then everything that they've been putting together the last 2 years. They always joke that they're like the least published or polished public speakers, and they usually just end up getting on stage and arguing together for 45 minutes, which is always a good time. Nothing that you guys have ever not heard on the Kid Contractor podcast, right, Jeremiah?
Well, when you put on an event, you have to have entertainment, but you also have to have value. And so Caleb and Brittany bring a little bit of both. Let's just say
a little bit of both.
Say that to say the least.
Well, I told Caleb Allman, I said, hey, why don't you guys come in to speak? Obviously, we wanted Brittany Allman to share, but I have to invite both.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's how
he just comes along with her.
Yeah, I said we really want Brittany to share for 35 minutes, but I had to invite both to not make it awkward, So that's funny right there. Caleb does a great job too, obviously. He's going to be on stage like Joe Biden. Where am I at?
Yeah,
nationalism, So then we got them coming in to share, and then we're going to cap it with my man Jeff Joyner, who's a professional motivational speaker. He's going to be talking about sales, communication, leadership. If you guys don't know Jeff, he's literally a professional storyteller and public speaker. And before that, he was the number 1 Campbell's Soup sales rep for 10 years down in Cincinnati, Ohio area. The guy's done multi-millions dollar contract negotiations, sold probably hundreds of millions of dollars worth of soup. But he's in the corporate boardroom selling some McDonald's and all the big name, Subways, all these big companies that you guys know. He is like one of the best salesmen in the world, like literally. And he's coming in to share. He always has a great message. I can't wait to have him come on in. Also, last year together in the trades, and I don't know if you remember this, Jeremiah, but I challenged him to write a book about sales and communication and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I've always wanted to write a book, but I just can never find time. I go, well, I challenge you. I give you 18 months to have a book ready for LAL 2023. He's like, bet. He took it up, and I check in with him about once a month. And he's just now finishing up the final manuscript or whatever you call it for the book, and it'll be ready to go. And we're going to buy, 300 copies or whatever we need to give out to everybody at LAL. Do a little book signing thing with Jeff, and it's going to be a great book talking about sales, communication, leadership, working together. I can't wait to check it out. I mean, he's like my guy, so I'm super excited about that, and that's what I got, man. It's I'm telling you folks, like, you got to come, you got to check it out. I don't want to overhype it, but one thing I'll say, and I heard this a long time ago, Jeremiah, is that some people like treat a crumb like a feast, and some people treat a feast like a crumb. And I don't want people to just be familiar that we're comfortable that these conferences go on, and they're like, oh yeah, I came in 2020 and it was awesome. And I'm like, well, have you come last year or are you coming this year? And like, oh no, I came 3 years ago. And I'm like, what, did you just stop self-developing and personally growing? Like, dude, that's an all-time thing. That's a forever thing. And some people are like, oh, well, cool, that conference is going on in November, but I'll wait till the next one comes to me in Tennessee. And I'm like, bro, unless you got like that Joe Rogan poll where you can get, Elon Musk to come to you.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody listening in. I'm pretty sure we're all in the boat where we need to go chase down success still, myself included. And if you give me some grace, like, success is in Novi, Michigan, man, on November 11th. Like, figure it out. Like, don't treat a feast like a crumb. I mean, this thing is going on. It cost us $100,000 to put this thing on. There's a lot of moving parts. And then somebody's like, "Oh, I'll catch it next year."
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're out of your freaking mind. So that being said, we're gonna roll out the red carpet for you guys. We can't wait to have you there. Bring a friend, bring a buddy. We'll have all the information available at launchpreneuracademy.com. You can get tickets starting 3 p.m. on Wednesday. It's gonna be awesome. We got 300 seats available. So we actually got bumped to a bigger room, but we may or may not roll out some more seats. We'll see how availability goes, but we'd love to have you guys there, man. That's my not pitch to have you guys come up to Novi, Michigan, man. We can't wait to have you.
Yeah, there's no pitch in there. It's just real life. I mean, if y'all listened to the show or back, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, Brian, you might have missed this one, but we had a dude out of Tennessee on. His name is Blake, running a great company, and he went to Launchpreneur Academy. Might be a good interview for you, honestly. Might have to connect y'all, but went to Launchpreneur Academy this past year for the first year, and his business is transformed. Like he went all in. He was part-time last year. Got to go to the event this past year, and he just couldn't speak more highly of it. And that is proof in the pudding of like the value that comes from this thing. I was there this past year. The speakers that you get to be around, I forget what we said the number was, but well over $100 million worth of net worth up on that stage that was there this past year.
Oh my God! It was insane.
And you can go talk to them, shake hands with them for $197, and it's like there is no greater value in this industry.
I'm telling you, like I believe that. I say that. I know that. But I wish other people would believe that and know that too, you know, because I know other conferences that are going on in the industry, and they want $997, $1,500. One conference, $2,200.
Yeah.
And I looked at the speaker lineup, and I was like, okay, you know, good stuff. But I'm like, bro, like there's no comparison. And I'm not just saying that. Like that's what, like your friend that was just on the show a couple weeks ago. That's you guys saying this stuff about this. So I always tell people like, hey, the conference is great for you, but bring a friend. Let's pack this thing out. Let's bring 300-400 people there. Here's the last thing I'll say, not to be salesy or motivation, but I'll put a guarantee on it. Every year we do this event, at the end, I always have everybody stand up and I say, was this conference a great time? Everybody screams, yeah. I said, thank you. I said, do you think it was worth a value for $200 or a great value for $200? Everybody like nods their heads. They say yes. I said, does anybody not believe that this was worth $200? If so, no embarrassment, no shade, no whatever. Just wave your hand really quick, wave it around, and I will personally come back and I will refund you your $200. And I've never once, Jeremiah, in 4 years we've done this thing, knock on wood, we've never had anybody say, no, man, it wasn't worth $200 listening to Troy Klug speak for 45 minutes about vision, or Mark Bradley speak for an hour about systems, or Stanley Dirt Monkey's been in. We've had B&B Lawn Care. We've had all the greats that are coming in. And of course, we're honored to have this class of speakers come on in as well, including some of you guys, part of that panel, which is really, really cool. I just don't know where you're going to find value for just $200. And last thing I'll say, like, guys, you got to get babysitters, sure. You know, if you want to bring kids, you know, 12 and up can come to the conference, but babies are allowed. You know, if you're nursing, you got moms or the wives want to come, that's totally fine with our conference. It's not the standard in every conference, I'll tell you that. We'll just leave that there. But we're a very pro-family environment, and we say that and we mean that, and we'll put our money behind that. But what I'll say too is we'd love to have you guys there because we want you guys to grow, we want you guys to learn, and we want you guys to win as a couple and as a family. So please bring your spouse, bring your husband, bring your wife, bring the boyfriend, the girlfriend, like bring your crew, bring your foreman. Like they're going to get encouraged and motivated like no other. And for $197, I mean, you can't find a better value than that anywhere around here. And we just hope that you guys make it a quality decision. Get the babysitters. You know, don't let a $600 leaf job steal your dream, because you might be on fumes thinking, man, this $600 is going to solve all my problems. And that is a Band-Aid. You need to get around the heat. You need to get around the people that are making this thing happen, and use that conference as motivation to fix your business in the off season, so you're ready to hit the ground running. You know, in February and March when the season starts. So don't let a $300 leaf cleanup or I got some irrigation blowouts, like, or whatever, dude. Like, work will always be there, but the conference is for 1 day, 2 days. Like, take some time out of your day, take some time out of your schedule, prioritize it, make it happen. And by the way, if you can't make ours, catch up with Jeremiah. They got a great conference going on with Paul and Jason a month or two later. Irregardless, get to something that's going to encourage you, empower you, and propel you to deal with the stuff that we were talking about at the top of the hour of this podcast. You need that energy. You need that motivation. You need that encouragement. And there's no better environment that I could make available for you guys than LAL, man. So we hope to see you guys there.
Well, there you go, dude. I love it. I don't think I can really add much to it other than the proof is in the pudding. Get on Instagram. Put a poll on your Instagram for everybody and say, have you gone? And then put, is it worth it? And see how many answers are yes or no. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. But there is a ton of value there, and you will not want to miss it. So tickets go on sale today, correct? Right? Is that what I hear?
Yep. Depending on when this podcast drops, so Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and one ticket per email. So if you guys are buying, one for you and one for the wifey or the spouse, just recheck out again with one ticket with a different email. Our system doesn't capture multiple ticket purchases. So you got to check out one ticket per person per email and then re-go through the system and buy your second ticket for your spouse. If you guys are bringing a crew of 4 or more, we're doing $25 discount. Shoot me an email. We'll PayPal you an invoice. We'll do that manually. But if you got 4 or 5 guys that want to come, the Basses always bring a half dozen guys. We got some great guys. JC Landscapes out of Pennsylvania. They always bring an army of guys. Eric Hughes always brings a bunch of dudes. We'd love to have you guys. So whatever, it's not a money grab. Whatever we can do to make it economical and affordable, we're doing our best to do that. There's a lot of cost to the event, as you guys can imagine, but I think $200 for a conference is pretty reasonable. But yeah, there you go.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. What did you really expect? We said short and sweet, but if Brian Fullerton's in the title, there is going to be no short and sweet. So,
short and sweet's from my shows. We're going to go for an hour on yours.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, it's been good. It's been good catching up. Like you said, we only get to do a couple of these a year, so when you do them, you want to make the most of them, bring the most value that we can, and I think we've done that today. The whole first half of the show and the whole second half of the show were 2 totally different topics, and I think you can learn a lot literally from like both sides of the show. The first show is like how to create your time freedom, your dream, what you're building, and then second is like what are we going to do? How are we going to make that happen? You get around people that are doing bigger and better things than you, and that's the place I'm at in life is like I want to go be around people who are doing bigger and better. I don't want to be the best person in the room. You go to LAL, I promise you, no disrespect to you, you will not be the biggest fish in the room. And you need to get around people like that. You need that's the kind of people that your life will change when you're around them and you have those conversations. So, dude, is there anything else? Is there anything else we missed that you want to cover, or is that going to wrap this one up?
No, man, that's it. I just got to say thanks for the platform. I phoned a couple podcast buddies and some friends. I pulled some favors. I said, hey, do you mind if we talk about LAL? I said, I want to hit it. It's the best kept secret in the industry. I said, I want to get as many people there and change lives. I'm telling you, like the success story that you had from your friend that was on just a couple weeks ago. Send me that episode because I want to check that out and get him on our show as well. Because, I got people all the time saying, I can't believe this thing is only $200, or I can't believe there's not more people here. Like, talk about that dream board and that vision board thing for a quick second. Last thing I'll say, like Liz and I have on our dream board the bowl of Little Caesars Arena, which holds, 25,000 people, but the bottom bowl, just the platform, and they can bring the Jumbotron down and bring the stage halfway and do a semicircle thing. We should have 5,000 people at this conference. Yeah. And we could bring in, if we had 5,000 people, we could bring in the Mike Rose, the CEO of Davey Tree. We could bring in
just not John Maxwell yet.
Yeah, we would have the budget for a John Maxwell. But the craziest thing to me is how this thing hasn't blown up to 1,500 to 5,000 people. Yeah. And that's one of Liz and I's dream is to go right out Little Caesars Arena, bro. And you can't do that for a lawn care conference. I go, stick around and find out. Yeah. We're not going to stop until we do. And you guys are part of that dream and that vision. And how cool it'd be one day to have 5,000 people there talking about success in contracting, bringing in an Aaron Witt and all these different great people out there that are making contracting more exciting and bringing in the youth. Like, folks, don't miss it. I'm telling you, don't treat a crumb don't treat a feast like a crumb. Treat a crumb like a feast. And we're doing our best here to make sure that everybody gets fed at this thing. So we'd love to have you, Jeremiah. Thanks for letting me talk about it. I love what you said just a second ago. I said the second part of the show drives the first part of the show.
Yep.
And they're synchronous. So you can't just go out there and just grow to $1 million. Like, you're going to need some encouragement. You're going to need to network. You're going to need some friendships and some brotherhood and some knowledge to get there. So don't just discredit. Oh, I listen to podcasts. I listen to YouTube videos. Yeah, I listen to Imagine Dragons, but hey, going to the concert is an entirely different experience. And that's what I invite you guys to come check out. Just once. Check it out one time. If you don't like it, you don't have to come again. But I'm telling you what, go on a step of faith. That's where we'll be. We can't wait to have you there. And that's what I got, brother.
Awesome, dude. Well, guys, you can check out LaunchpreneurAcademy.com and get tickets today at 3 p.m. Eastern. I highly encourage you to go buy your ticket today because they will sell out as the summer and fall rolls around. It will turn into a full event. I can almost promise you that. I know Brian you can try to add seats and stuff, but there comes a point where you're just maxed out, and so you want to pack everybody in that you can. And so you want to be there. You don't want to miss it. There's gonna be a ton of value. We can't wait to see everybody in Novi. It'll be a great time hanging out and just getting to network and grow. And so I think that is what we're going to wrap the show up with today. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you're coming together in the trades on Friday, we will see you there. Can't wait to see everybody. Be safe traveling if you haven't started yet. If you're already there and you're just out walking or hiking and listening to the show, then come say hey, come hang out. It's going to be a great weekend together. And if you didn't make it this year, then make plans to be there next year. Wherever it is, wherever we go, be excited and plan to be there ahead of time. So without any further ado, guys, that is going to wrap this episode up. Thanks, Brian, for coming on, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.